This is the Brownstone Center news update for Monday, November 3rd, 2025. Let's go ahead and get some news together so that everybody, including me, can go about their day, do their running around, and their errands, and so forth. Shall we? So, we're starting the week with big moves in Washington. There's a new report from the World Health Organization and breakthroughs in health and science that you definitely need to know about that could shape how we think about disease prevention. So let's go ahead and get into it. U.S. politics and government shutdown are on the main topics for today. The federal government shutdown is now entering day 34 with no end in sight. And the issue is that more people are starting to be impacted, even in local communities. And we're going to talk about that just briefly. But for now, President Donald Trump says he will not be extorted into reopening the government and continues to blame Democrats for the funding standoff. Republican leaders privately acknowledge growing public pressure as back pay, food programs, and health care reimbursements remain frozen. Now, with that and food programs like SNAP and so forth, in the area where I am right now, they are already beginning to cut hours at local grocery stores and other places, including Walmart, which receives $2.6 billion from the SNAP program. And are getting a little concerned. But we're going to be talking about that a little bit later. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has raised questions about the legality of several of Trump's emergency tariff measures through the administration, and they insist they'll stay in place regardless. The administration is like, no, we're going to do what we want to do anyway. Screw what you got to say. Screw the three branches of government. The reason why this matters with what is currently happening with the government shutdown is over 700,000 federal employees are furloughed or working without pay and having to go to food banks and churches in order to feed their families. Agencies like the EPA are warning that nearly 90% of their staff may very well end up being idled, and delays are spreading from airport security to food inspections. And it's ordinary Americans that are starting to pay the price, including in areas like mine where they are cutting hours at grocery stores. And remember this, that many of your grocers, including Walmart, receives a substantial amount of their income revenue from SNAP benefits. If that is not paid, imagine the trickle down that will impact pricing and the workers at these specific organizations, these companies. All right, let's go around the world, shall we? China-U.S. trade tensions are actually easing right now. Beijing announced it's lifting some exports restrictions on rare earth elements and pausing investigations into U.S. chip firms. That's given global markets a boost today. So there's a positive upside to that. Global health funding crisis. The World Health Organization has actually issued an urgent call for governments to prevent catastrophic cuts to international health programs, citing, quote, drastic underfunding of disease surveillance vaccines and maternal child health programs. The reason why this matters so much is because economic diplomacy is back in play as China and the U.S. both face internal political strain. And we're experiencing this in real time. And whose warning highlights the very real risk of another global health crisis if funding isn't restored. A new American Heart Association study finds that adults with type 2 diabetes who maintain strong heart health through diet, exercise, and blood pressure control can offset their risk of dementia, or what some call the other diabetes, even with high genetic vulnerability. Today also marks World One Health Day, let me get that right, spotlighting how human, animal, and environmental health are intertwined, especially with climate shifts, disease spread, and antibiotic resistance on the rise. Good health isn't just about treatment, folks. It's about prevention and connection. This research underscores how our daily choices literally protect not just our hearts, but also our minds. Here's what's happening in the Brownstone today. Head on over to Facebook or Meta, whichever you choose to call it, and go ahead and like Brownstone Living magazine. We've kicked off this page so that you guys can stay in the know on what's happening with Brownstone Living magazine, our articles, the lifestyle pieces, recipes, all kinds of things, and learning from some of the coolest in the business on the cover of Brownstone Living magazine. Like for the month of October, we had two amazing doctors that came and hung out with us, and you can check out their interview as well as check out Brownstone Living magazine itself in its digital format absolutely for free. Also, check out those daily deals and coupons. Our new little e-zine starts dropping this week, actually tomorrow, so you can check out what deals that we have specifically for you. Also, don't forget, Marciano Lanio is coming to us today with Love Restored, another wonderful podcast about love and relationships that you definitely need to check out. And let's not forget, let's talk about what is currently happening in Congress. We're going to be following what is happening with this deadlock. A bipartisan framework is reportedly being discussed, but has yet to make it to the floor, whose global response expect donor nations and NGOs to convene emergency meetings over international health funding in the coming week, and economic outlook. We need to be paying attention to what is currently happening, because it's not just about SNAP benefits, it's about everything that is connected to it, including entire economies. It is an infrastructure that we don't pay much attention to, but everything is about to be impacted because of that. Also, this week, for the people in the neighborhood, our paying subscribers who are our ambassadors on the ground, you guys have a new podcast that has dropped this week. So go ahead and check it out in the portal. And also, don't forget, if you are a subscriber on Facebook, it's already over there as well in our portal on Facebook. And also, don't forget, you guys, we've got a new Brownstone Living magazine that is dropping on Thursday. So be on the lookout for that. Guys, get out there and enjoy the rest of your day. And so for more news and information that you can always use, head over to brownstoneworldwide.com, Cityscape Radio, and you guessed it, Brownstone Living magazine. By the way, we'll see you around.
Welcome to the neighborhood.